Hey guys, it's me, Minecraft World. Um, so, here we are, my Monkie Kid Season 3 All Opponents video, my follow-up to my original Monkie Kid All Opponents video, basically where, I come up with opponents for every single Monkie Kid character that is noteworthy. And Monkey Kid Season 3 has gotten its English dub. It got the English dub earlier this year, but it took me a long time to create this video, to work on it, mostly because while the opponent search was a little easy, it got frustrating at first. I really couldn't find any good opponents for the new characters, and Monkey Kid itself was still really obscure. Before we get into the opponents, I want to talk about my thoughts on Season 3 first, because this is legitimately the best the show's ever been. There will be spoilers ahead for Season 3 if you have not seen it. In the description, there's a link to an unlisted playlist of someone that has Season 3. All episodes of Season 3 except for the last 4, which I assume you can find on YouTube, hoping they aren't deleted. And there are clips of Season 3 all over the place, but if you have not seen Monkey Kid Season 3, I 100% suggest you give it a watch. This is, like I said, legitimately the best that the show has ever been so far. And if it ended here, if it ended with Season 3, I wouldn't be happier. I loved it so much. It started off rough, got a little slow, and then the ending and the last 5-6 episodes basically saved it. And made the show one of the best things I've ever seen, legitimately rivaling most seasons of Ninjago and some of the best seasons of Ninjago. At that. Not just the most recent, but some of the best. I 100% recommend checking it out. If you haven't seen the first 2 seasons, check out my last video. There was a method to watch it last time. I cannot really find the description. Oh wait, I do have the link for it. Never mind. The link for it will be in the pinned comment and description. So, yeah. There will also be a few more links to some other matchups that I found that I didn't list here. One of the characters I forgot the name. I'm going to have to double check. But, yeah. There will be a few links in the pinned comment and description of this video. So, yeah. But I did this video mostly because I wanted to do an opponent search video where we look for opponents for every single character for a series. I had many different options. Godzilla was one, but that would have taken a long time, especially considering there are a lot of characters that I would want to do that I was partially inspired by Nemesis doing his thing with the Godzilla Kaiju, but there were a lot of other characters that I wanted to do for the various different monsters that he didn't really do, that he left out for some of them. Characters like the Skullcrawler, Red, all of those. But, yeah. And other options were Ninjago, but that would have taken a long time, especially since Crystallized is coming out. And Transformers, which I'm not the most knowledgeable of. Even if I stuck with something like the Beast Wars continuity, or some other continuity that I'm more knowledgeable on, like the Align continuity, the films, or the Bay films, or the War for Cybertron trilogy. Even if I stuck with one of those, it would be a bit of a frustration. So, yeah, Monkey Kid it is. And also, just gonna review the rules. There were a few edits that I made. The no characters for Season 3 thing, that's amended, and also Season 3 basically killed off any reason to use Journey to the West, aside from a small handful of characters, both new and old, so yeah. I'm only using Monkie Kid, not Journey to the West, no spin-offs, prequels, or anything like that. Only Monkie Kid, with a few exceptions. And I'm not using any army characters. I'm not doing any army characters. Vehicles, though, are allowed, and armies themselves. So, like, if you want to do, say, like, the Stone Army versus the Possessed Bull Clones for Overlord vs. Bone Demon, then that's good. Speaking of Overlord vs. Bone Demon, that one's become my third most wanted matchup overall, becoming my favorite Monkie Kid matchup ever because of how much it could be done. Because of how much it could be done in spite of the fact that it's a huge stomp. Yeah, it's a big stomp now. Galaxy level plus versus large moon level. At worst, Galaxy level plus at worst versus large moon level at large planet level at best, actually. And even then, large planet's actually pretty debatable because reasons. But I'm not versus debating here. No upcoming new characters. We don't really know if there are going to be any new characters for Season 4 yet. There isn't really much info in Season 4 right now. We don't have a release date, we don't have a banner, we don't have anything. So, that one's basically mute. No side characters that don't really serve an importance to the story. The Demon Accountant was one that I left out, and I'm still leaving out, mostly because I can't really find a good opponent. She does serve a somewhat importance to the story. But similar characters like Red Sun's Customer or Lao Tzu, basically background characters, are not applicable. I'm only using major protagonists, antagonists, and other side characters that play an important role in the story, or at least an important role in the episode. And the Expect a Lot of Ninjago one is a little mute now, mostly because I only have 2 Ninjago matchups here. Both of which... and also, I recently watched the Owl House. Fantastic show. I 100% recommend it. And I have 3 matchups. 2 matchups for the 2 new character matchups and an alternate. That's an Owl House matchup. So, yeah, an alt match. That's an Owl House matchup. For Owl House versus Monkie Kid, I have 3 of those. One of them you might be able to guess because I dropped a trailer for it recently. But yeah, so with that out of the way, I first want to go over a few alts for some of the characters. First off, Tang versus Velma, Monkie Kid versus Scooby-Doo. Connections for this one should be pretty obvious if you are familiar with both series. Basically, the nerdy members of a group of heroes who both are the most knowledgeable of their series and tend to have moments of disagreement amongst their peers, but usually tend to care heavily about them. It's better than Dipper. Much better than the one I went for, which was Dipper from Gravity Falls. I still really like it. I still don't think this might not be Tang's best, but it's the best I could come up with. There's Donatello as well. There's Zane, which Tang gets curb stomped. But yeah. 3 alternate matchups for May versus Nia from Ninjago. This is definitely May's best. They're basically the female protagonists of a group of heroes from beloved LEGO series, who both are tomboyish in character, and also serve as close characters towards an important protagonist, Kai and MK. both also have extremely powerful forms that basically nearly kill them. Nia merging with the sea, and Mei, spoilers, getting the Samadhi fire. So before we go on, I just want to state, Mei is now Uni Plus. According to Red Sun, the Samadhi fire is basically a destructive wildfire. This is according to Red Sun and Sun Wukong, both of which have had prior experience, and the latter being the creator of the Samadhi fire. It's basically a Uni Plus, possible multi-plus wildfire that Mei learns to control, harness, and utilize in battle. So yeah, Mei is now Uni Plus at worst, low to multi-plus at best. Multi-plus at best. So she definitely stomps Macy, probably stomps Nia, and her closest matchup is her third alternate, but the second one she definitely stomps. Rise April O'Neil. This is specifically April O'Neil from Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Basically the cheery female protagonist who joins on a group of mystical heroes who both battle a powerful demon, the Demon Shredder and the Lady Bone Demon, both of which also having mystical powers. It also comes from the same animation studio, Rise, the same animation studio that did Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, also did Monkie Kid. I mean, I'll play a small clip here. I won't do audio, but I'll lower the audio. But here you can definitely see that there is the similar animation style. Also, this animation is still base. God, I love it.
Hey, that was amazing!
Yeah, I might have picked up a little something for my great unky Dragon of the East.
Yeah. So Mei definitely destroys her. It's not even close. Like I said, Mei is at worst Uni Plus and at best Multiversal Plus. And the final one, this is definitely her closest, actually, King Ghidorah from Godzilla. I did a track for this one a while ago, and this is my preferred for Mei. This is the one I like the most. It doesn't really have many connections. Like, it's mostly just long dormant dragon characters who are both inspired by famous Asian dragons, Yamato no Orochi for Ghidorah, and the White Dragon Horse of the East for Mei, who both basically serve opposite roles in their narrative. Mei serves the role as MK's best friend, and Ghidorah serves the role as Godzilla's arch nemesis. But I really, really like this. It's definitely Mei's closest. This is meant for a composite Ghidorah, being that the only versions of Ghidorah that I'm leaving out are GMK and anime, and I'm scaling to Kaiser and Dez Ghidorah. Originally Ghidorah won, but I'm really not sure who wins now. If we full comp, go everywhere, Ghidorah most likely takes the W, but with this scenario, it could go either way, to the point where May most likely wins. So, yeah. And a lot of people might be thinking, size difference. May has a kaiju form. May has a kaiju dragon form. She uses it a lot, and she's actually battled another larger character, Macaque, when he got his mech. When he gets a mech. Side note, that episode where she does battle him, that's my favorite episode of the series now. Season 3, Episode 4, The Winning Side. Next one, I have 3 ults for Red Sun as well. First one is an Owl House matchup. Hunter versus Red Sun. The Owl House versus Monkie Kid. Red Sun is another one of those characters where I'd give this Mighty Fire to, which puts him at Uni+, so he absolutely curb stomps Hunter, or the Golden Guard, as you want to call him. There are spoilers for Owl House. Sorry, I forgot to mention that earlier. There are going to be spoilers for Owl House, Season 2, and Seasons 1 and 2. Again, if you have not seen Owl House, I highly recommend it. And for the other 2, one of them, I haven't seen the series, but I remember the name. King Andreas from Amphibia. In basic, it's royal members from alternate worlds who exist in the modern day and are attempting to appease their family by doing what they ask and ruling with an iron fist. I think. Both also possess high levels of power and follow/fear a higher monster, the Lady Bone Demon and the Core. I haven't really seen Amphibia yet. I do want to get around to watching it. It does actually look pretty good. And then there was a third Red Sun opponent. I forgot who it was, but there's a link in the description. There's a link in the description and pinned comment to the trailer that has it. Same with the one for Andreas. I do still prefer Andreas versus Asgore from Undertale. And Hunter vs. Red Sun, this is my preferred for Red Sun now. Zuko, I don't really like anymore. I don't really like Zuko versus Red Sun anymore. I still like both characters, especially Red Sun, but Red Sun stomps them both. It's like, Red Sun is one of 2 characters I'd give the Mighty Fire to, the other one being May, which would put them both at Uni+ at worst, Multi+ at best. So, yeah. And then the last 2 alts that I have to go through are 2 Macaque matchups. 2 alternate Macaque matchups that I really quite like. The first one is Macaque versus Moro. Monkie Kid versus Ninjago. This is one that I wanted to bring up, but I still prefer Rex Dangervest over all of it. And also, I want to preface this. It feels really, hard to talk about Macaque in a Versus debate, in Versus now, due to the recent passing of his voice actor, Billy Comments. I'm pretty sure I pronounced that correctly. So, I just want to state that dude gave one of the best voice acting performances in all of animation, this Macaque's performance being it. I 100% cannot imagine Macaque being played by a different actor. Dude gave the character life in so many different ways. Putting Macaque as my favorite character in the series. But it feels so hard to talk about it, but I'll try to do that. So, Macaque vs. Moro, basically, spoilers, Macaque is an undead entity. Macaque is an undead entity, basically a warrior that was killed by Wukong and revived by the Lady Bone Demon. Moro is also an undead entity, killed and revived by the Preeminent. Both serve under that master, one hesitantly, one willingly. and both taking the powers of the protagonist in order to do so. The protagonist technically being the chosen one as well. Both also have beef with the mentor characters, Wu and Wukong. And finally, there's Macaque vs. Moderate Uchiha. I haven't seen Naruto that much. I don't know much about I don't know much about Madara outside of the Madara vs. Aizen death battle, which is still Madara's best. But yeah. Also, for those of you who were on Death Battle, I really think I should bring this up. Heracles vs. Sun Wukong happened. This one feels so... I really don't want to walk on Legos here, but this one happened, and this was my favorite of the season so far. I'm not going to play any clips of it. If you want to watch the Death Battle, there's a link in the pinned comment and description and all that. I'm going to really need to put in a lot of links. But yeah, 20 minutes in, and we haven't really gotten to the new characters, so shoot. But yeah, Heracles vs. Wukong happened. The episode was great, but I really don't want to talk about it too much, because I really don't want to keep walking on Legos here. Or eggshells, as the proper saying is, but Legos I bring up. Yep, screw it. But here we are, the new characters. First matchup number 19, I believe. Ao Guang, the Dragon King of the East, versus King Trimar. Ninjago versus Monkie Kid. Two rulers of isolated underwater kingdoms that are both considered legends. Both are protective of their kingdoms and serve as familial figures to the major character, May and Benthamar, and have a history with the mentor. Both would later be attacked and killed defending the kingdom from an arrogant antagonist, Macaque and Kalmar, whilst the heroes would make their escape doing so. Connections are pretty light. This is the best I could get for Ao Guang. This is one of the few times where I would actually use Journey to the West. The other time being another upcoming character and Wukong himself. Primarily because this is believed to be the same Wukong from Journey to the West. So, yeah. Next up, number 20. The Goldfish Demon versus Tibbles. Monkie Kid versus the Owl House. I believe that's his name. Two short antagonistic demon characters who both cause trouble by the heroes by conning, scamming, and tricking them. One sentence connection... pretty strong to a degree, but both have better. Granted, I can't really think of better outside of this one for the Goldfish Demon, but like Tibbles, the first other character that comes to mind is Little Gideon from Gravity Falls. That's the first other character that comes to mind when I think of an alternate for Tibbles. But yeah, the Goldfish Demon doesn't really do any fighting, but if I had to take a guess, he wins, suit, though Tibbles definitely has a hacks advantage. Yes, I'm taking hacks into account, I completely forgot about those. But yeah. Also, Ao Guang straight up stomps Trimar. Ao Guang straight up stomps Trimar. This is one of those few Ninjago loses to Monkie Kid matchups. The only other one that I can think of is, Mo vs. the Chicken. That's the only other one I could think of. But yeah. Here's the other demon antagonist from Monkie Kid. The Scorpion Queen versus Chief Mimatis. Monkie Kid versus Ninjago. Two powerful rulers of isolated regions who are both hundreds of years old. Both attempt to capture one of the main characters, Tang and Jay, for their own for their own game. Scorpion Queen to finally get company, if I remember correctly, and Chief Mimatis to ward up for Ujira. Both will later amend their conflict and become acquaintances, not exactly friends, with the heroes. That's basically it. Not a huge laundry list of connections. Again, this is the best I could think of for the Scorpion Queen. But I still really think it works. Scorpion Queen also wins, though Mimatis, you could probably give him his army. I think Scorpion Queen has an army, I'm not sure. I need to rewatch that episode. But it still works. This was number 21, by the way. I forgot to mention. Number 22. Shanga vs. the Tooth Fairy. Young legendary characters from their story who, despite being inspired and sharing names with their mythological counterparts, are very different from their original legends. Both have sweet and caring personalities, but do have their serious moments. Both also have cute, small helpers who work around their factories, which they call home. This is Monkie Kid vs. Rise of the Guardians. That movie is really underrated, and I also recommend giving it a check out. I do really think it's great. Shanga is another character that doesn't really do much fighting. Like, she really doesn't scale to anyone, and it feels weird to do a battle suggestion, like a matchup for her, but yeah, with that account, adding their armies, it could actually be interesting. But I'm probably giving it to the Tooth Fairy because she has actual combat experience. But yeah. And then here's the final one for today. Last but not least, number 23, Neza versus Lilith. Monkie Kid versus the Owl House. Two powerful badass characters who are both competitive in nature and served as siblings to the mentor characters, Wukong and Ida, who both carry a semi-rivalry with them. Both will later join the heroes in their attempt to control and remove a curse, the Samadhi Fire and the Owl Curse, with them later attempting to stop a cataclysmic event, LBD's Universe Reset and the Day of Unity. Both in the process becoming an ally and a sort of aunt/uncle-esque figure with the cheery main character, MK and Luce. Lilith has better. Lilith definitely has much better, but I was looking for opponents for Nezha specifically. And I really quite like this. This was the one that I did a trailer for recently, so yeah. Honestly, I think it could work. There are three ways that I can actually see this one go down. Either it's pretty freaking close, but Lilith wins. It's close, but Nessa wins, and Nessa straight up curb stomps her. From initial research, rewatching all of it, and the Owl House, rewatching Monkie Kid and the Owl House, I'm leaning more towards option 2. Nessa wins, but it's pretty close. But yeah, I really think this works. I honestly like this. And yeah. So that was it. That was all. That was my Monkie Kid Season 3 follow-up. It isn't really it isn't really as long as the original video, but I still really quite like it. I still really quite like the majority of these matchups, despite not being best for either of them. I could definitely figure that out. I mean, I think the only one that I would consider best for both is probably Shanga versus the Tooth Fairy. And even then I'm a little iffy on that, but it's the best I can think of for Shanga. But yeah, that's it. Enjoy, take care, have a good one. Peace. Okay, Death Battle, now that you've done a mythology matchup, you have two things. One, more mythology matchups, and two, bring in Monkie Kid. Overlord versus Lady Bone Demon, please!